There we go. That you want to see totally worked out, you can check out that notes case. So if you want to pull up the Walker Web under chapter 11, it's right there. So is there any part of the notes before we get to the homework, any problems on the notes can help you work through? Any of them? Nothing? You understood every last question on the notes? Okay. Well, we'll find out if you did or not later. Let's go to homework problems. So 11.2, which problems would you like to see me work out?
42.
42, that's a good one.
23.
Okay. Say it one more time.
23.
23.
9.
Okay.
Can you do 16?
Can you do 35?
I was going to talk about those last two anyway. Those are good ones. So I have 9, 16, 23, 35. All right. Well, if any other ones come up and you'd like me to work those out, feel free to just shout out. So let me share my screen and we'll do that. Great. And once again, I can't see my chat, so just shout out again. Okay. Let me switch colors. I think I want red. All right, number 9. On my notes, I don't have it worked out on here because I just want to walk you through it. So here it says an exercise 7 through 9, find the indicated measure. So for number 9, the area of the circle is 676 pi square meters. So we know the area is equal to 676 pi. And we want to find the diameter. So we know the formula for the area of a circle is pi r squared. So in order to find the diameter, because the diameter is twice the size of the radius, we have to find the radius. So I'm going to plug in what I know. I do know the area. I just don't know the radius. So now I'm just going to I need to get r squared all by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by pi. And then pi over pi is just 1. So it actually cancels out on both sides. So I have r squared equals 676. And then to get r by itself, I have to take the square root of both sides. So I get, once you put that in your calculator, you should get approximately 26.03. But that's just the radius. So you have to get the diameter, it's twice the radius. I'm just going to multiply 26.03 times 2. So the diameter is approximately 52.06 centimeters.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if we multiply it by 3.14, it's like not the exact same as if we multiply it by
Right, it's going to be slightly off because if you multiply by pi and you're calculating by the actual pi button, it's actually going to give you more of an exact answer than if you did 3.14.
Yeah. So are you going to take points if we use 3.14?
No, because you'll be close. You'll be close. And you'll be able to, because most of the stuff, I think the only thing, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do the test for chapter 10 and 11 yet. It might be a Google form. It might be where, I'm not really sure. I haven't decided. So, but you'll know the answer that you have will be so close to the actual one. So you'll know the difference. All right. So the next one was 16. But unless it says use 3.14 for pi, I would actually just use the pi button.
I had a question on 12 and 13.
Okay. Excuse me. All right, so let's go over 12 and 13. Number 12, find the areas of the sectors formed by angle DFE. So really, it wants you to find, so in number 12, find the area of the orange sector, and then basically the orange sector in 13 as well. So for number 12, it's actually giving you the angle, so the angle measure here, which is 256, but you need to know the angle measure there. So for that one, 360 minus 256, excuse me, you would get, let's see what I get, 104. Okay, so here, I think it wants you to find the area of each sector. So you want to find the area of the orange and the blue. Because technically angle DFE could be this angle and it could be the angle on the inside there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to find the area of each color. So I'll find the area of the blue sector and then I'll find the area of the orange sector. Okay, so I'm just going to use the formula. And the measure of the arc divided by 360 times the area formula. So if you guys remember, the arc length formula is very similar, with the exception that instead of multiplying by pi r squared, we multiply by the circumference formula. So it's very similar. So I'm going to find the area of the blue first. So I know that angle is 256 divided by 360. And then I know the radius is 14. And you can actually enter this whole thing in your calculator. And you get approximately 437.87 for that area. And then you're going to do the same thing for the orange. I think in the book it called it red. I was like, that's not red. So this one is 104. So I'm going to do the smaller one. And basically it's going to be the same thing, except I just changed the angle to 104. And you should get approximately 177.
So did we have to find the area of the sector for both the blue and like the?
I think it really wanted you to, but if you only did the orange, that's fine.
Okay, because that's what I did.
Yeah,
so.
that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so that's 12. And then
Would it be the exact same thing for
exactly the same,
13?
except you have to do 360 minus 137 to find the angle over here.
And then instead of 14 for the diameter, you just input
28.
28. Okay.
Yep. I'll leave that up for a second. Okay, so I'm going to clear this out. And like I said, I'll post this video online. So if you want to go back in case you missed anything. All right, we have a thing on 16. So we want to find the radius of circle M. So if you look at the picture, this right here is actually the area of that blue sector. And we're given the arc measure. And so I have to find the radius. So once again, area of the sector is equal to the measure of the arc divided by 360 times pi r squared. So I'm going to the information that I have. So I have the area of the sector is 12.36 is equal to 89 divided by 360 times pi r squared. All right, so for this one, I need to isolate r squared. So I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to actually, if you think about it, I can actually take out the pi here and put it next to the 89 right there. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of that fraction. So 360 divided by 89 pi. There's your little faces over there. And so in your calculus, this becomes 1. You can multiply, just plop that into your calculator. You may have to put the denominator 89 parentheses. So have an extra set there to make sure they're realizing that that pi is actually in the denominator. So once you do that, I kind of did mine all at once. Times 12.36. That's about 15.914 for that is equal to r squared. And once again, I need to know the radius. So I'm just gonna take the square root of both sides. Guys, this is work I should be seeing like on your paper. And so you should get approximately 3.99. For the radius. And the radius, when they're asking you this question, you have to use the area of a sector formula. Finding the radius is probably the most math that you're probably going to do, because it's the most algebra to get r by itself. You have to do it's good. You have to obviously look through and do all these different steps. And then you can just use your calculator. All right, so let's look at 23. All right, so for this one, this was kind of like, I'm gonna go ahead and put the answers for 23, 25. Like once again, when you submit your homework, I wanna see kind of like what goes with it, because this particular question, 20 through 25, kind of built on each other. Like you had to find the radius first to find the circumference and blah, 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 blah. So the radius was 9.11 inches. And then the circumference is that, and then to find the measure of arc KL was about 58 degrees. Should have been pretty close to 58. Okay, so in question 23, they want you to find the perimeter. So it's almost like they want to, like if you were to run, I totally got off there, all this distance, they want to know how far basically you ran, this little Pac-Man.
We did. Did we have to do 23? I thought it said we didn't.
No, you did. 23. Yeah, it said 20 through 25. So what I do
it
know,
wasn't 22. Okay.
yeah, so you do know that this piece and this piece right here are both radii. So I know those are both 9.11. So I know I have to add those in. But then I have to figure out the arc length of that blue sector. So then I can add that in, and then I'll have the perimeter of my little Pac-Man. I can put like a little thing. Remember like the Pac-Man? Okay, anyway. All right. Arc length is equal to the measure of the arc. Guys, remember, this is arc length. So this is going back to 11.1. So then we're going to multiply by 2 pi r, because it's arc length and not area of the sector. Okay. So in order to find the arc length, I do know the measure of the arc from question 22. Oh, wait, that's not true. So if KL is 58, if I subtract it from 360, then the measure of this arc, or this angle right here, which is the central angle, will be the same measure as the arc, is 302. So I have to subtract the 58 from 360 to get that. And then times 2 pi r, and the radius is 9.11. So in your calculator, you would just put all that in, parentheses, parentheses, and you get approximately for arc length for 23, what did I get? 48.02 inches. So now that I have the big piece of the Pac-Man, I can add it to the 2 radii to get my total perimeter of 66. Okay. And then 35 and 40. Go ahead.
How do you find 22 before doing 23?
Okay, so in order to find, so you're going to use, hold on, let me go back. I'm going to have to clear that out. Whoops. Let me get some space here. This board right the entire nation. Okay. I'm just going to clear my annotation, sorry. I'm waiting for it to clear. It's taking a lifetime. There we go. Okay. So for 22, to find the measure of arc KL. So really you want to find the angle measure there. So for number 22, I'm going to use the area of the sector is equal to the measure of the arc divided by 360 times pi r squared. So for this one, I want to know the measure of the arc. So I do know from, what question was it? Here it is, up here, this information, that the area of the sector KML is 42. So I plug that in there. And I'm going to say this is my x. So x over 360 times pi, and then 9.11 is my radius. So once I do all that, you can multiply that out, isolate the x, you should get approximately 58 degrees for that one. Does that help, Donnie?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Subtracted 58 from 360 to find the measure of this one was 302, and this is 58 degrees. Okay. All right, let's move on to 35 and 42. All right, so this is 35. All right, so I'm going to briefly explain it. So kind of disregard the red. But a square is inscribed in a circle. So here's my square here. And then it's inscribed, here's the circle that it's inscribed by, this big circle. But it's also, square is actually circumscribed about a smaller circle. So there's a circle inside the square. So if you notice, I'm going to change colors to purple here. If I draw in the diameter of the circle, it actually breaks up my square into 4 little squares. And then all these are congruent to each other. There. All right, so what I did is I said, okay, I just picked a random number for the radius of the smaller circle. You could have picked any number. I picked 4, just because, I don't know, 4. 4 seems like a nice number. So I said, okay, the radius of the smaller circle is 4. I need to figure out the radius of the bigger circle if I'm going to figure out the ratio of their areas. So I said, okay, this is 4 and that is 4. I have to figure out this length right here. This length right here that I'm doing in dark red, that'll give me the radius of the larger circle. So if I take this little triangle and I drew it out, that's actually a 45, 45, 90. So if you go back and think about your little pattern for a 45, 45, 90, my legs are both 4, then my hypotenuse would be 4 square roots of 2. So the radius of the big circle is 4 square roots of 2, and the radius of the small is 4. But like I said, you could have chosen any number, worked out the same way in the end. So then I found, using 4 square roots of 2, I found the area of the big. And then using 4, I found the area of the small. And then I did the ratio, large. So this is the larger circle over the smaller. The pi's end up canceling, and 32 divided by 16 is 2 over 1. So the ratio of the areas of the larger circle to the area of the smaller one is 2 to 1. And if you want to go back and rework it and choose like a different number, it's going to work out as 2 to 1, regardless of what you choose. Okay, so go back and do that if you had a hard time picturing that problem, because it might have been harder just to draw it to begin with. All right, so I'm going to go through all of 42 because I kind of want you to have to like think about this problem. So I'm just going to actually focus on how to set it up and how to answer the questions. That's the worst star I've ever drawn in my entire life. Okay. So Let me make this a little bit bigger. You're being a nice person, right? And that's just not working. You're getting some pizza for you and 7 of your friends. So that's eight people total that you're gonna have, including yourself. So the first sentence of the problem says a circular pizza with a 12-inch diameter is enough for you and 2 friends. That sentence right there is really what you need to figure out how much pizza each person can eat. So if you look down here, the area, I'm gonna find the area of this 12-inch pizza. So obviously the radius is 6, 12 divided by 2. So I found that the total area of a 12-inch pizza is 113 point something square inches. So if I know that's enough for 3 people, I divide it by 3, each person eats this much pizza. Okay, 37.7 approximately square inches of pizza is what each person needs. It will be enough for them to eat. So therefore right there, if you think about it, this next sentence here, a party of 8, you take 8, multiply that by 37.7. That'll give you how much pizza you're gonna need to get for you and 7 other friends. So this number right here is how much you need. 301.6 square inches of pizza. Okay. And knowing that fact, you can go back up here and kind of play around with how much it would cost. I would go through part A. You need to figure out how much pizza is in a 10-inch, and then how much pizza, the area of a 10-inch and the area of a 14. And then kind of figure out the cost. Like, should I buy this many 10-inch or this many 14? And just kind of figure out which one would be the cheaper option. Okay, so this part right here would be essential in order to answer these questions. But I gave you all the answers yourself. Okay. Okay. Any other questions from the homework before we move on?
I have one. So, I know for like part C, but for part C, it says you want to have as much of the thick outer crust as possible, but it doesn't say anything about that. So,
Says you want to have as much of the thick outer crust as possible. Well, let's put the answer up here. I typed it up. So here, 4 10-inch pizzas should be ordered. You have the pizza available will be 78.5 times that. The cost will be $6.99. Let's see. 10-inch. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that one. You have as much thicker outer crust as possible.
yeah, because it says nothing about like the crust, like thickness of it. So, and like we know about the toppings and stuff.
Yeah,
but
so
like,
part B should be have 3 pizzas, each with a different topping.
it just didn't make sense because
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking when I typed it up here. If you have 4 10-inch pizzas. Oh, you know why? Because with the 10-inch pizzas, you're going to get, I think you're just crust. If you have rather than, so like if you get the 14-inch pizza, you're going to get more pizza than you actually crust, maybe? I don't know.
okay.
Yeah. I'll leave part B and C, and you can go back and look if you want to take like a snapshot of it or something. But. Okay, so let's move. All right, so what we're going to do now, sharing that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is that we're going to play, and I want you guys, once you get started, put yourselves on mute. It's a 12-question Kahoot challenge. So it's not a game where it's like you are competing against other people. You're going to work through it on your own. And I'm going to be sitting here and kind of available for you to answer any questions. And then everybody that's here right now, which I think is the majority of our class, I will give you participation points in the grade book. So the assignment will be worth, I think I'm supposed to go back and put it at 0 points, and then I will give you 8 participation points. So it's kind of like extra credit, okay? And it's not based on, you know, your actual score for the game. It's just participation. All right. So what I'm going to do, let me pull up the chat. I'm going to put the link in the chat to this Kahoot challenge. So go ahead and pull up Kahoot. And I will, I'm going to go ahead and copy the link, and then I'll copy the challenge, the game pen too. I don't think you need both, but you can have both. So there's the link. And then if you just want to use the pen, there's the pen. So like I said, go ahead and put yourselves on mute. I'm on standby, so I can go to my whiteboard and kind of help you if you're unclear about any of the questions. It's just on 1 and 11.2. So arc length and area of a sector. So go ahead and do that. I would pull up another window. Try not to do it on your phone. You can do it on your phone if you want, but I would just pull another and do it just while we're going to be sitting. Then once you get done, guys, if you don't have any other questions and you get finished with it, you can go ahead and make sure to use your actual name. Don't use like see whatever. Use your actual name just so I can keep track of who's done the game. All right, and then you'll be working on 11.3 for Thursday. So that's what we're doing now. So I'm here if you have any questions. Get started with that, or let me know if you're having trouble getting in to the game. The pin's right here. Someone asked me for the pin.
Miss Witchard,
Yeah.
I clicked on the link and it whenever like I play it only shows the answers and I can't even see the question. So
Anybody else having that problem?
and I tried like doing it twice and like resetting it and it's still doing it. I'll try and do the Kahoot like on my phone.
Okay. I'll post the link one more time. Yeah, there's the link. Any luck, Jackson?
I don't know yet. It's still loading.
Okay.
All right, I got it to work.
Okay, cool.
Miss Richard.
Yeah.
So I think this is like the sixth question. It's find the missing arc length. I don't understand.
Okay. Let
Is
me pull
it
it up. It
asking
says
to
numbers. They're all ordered the same way.
I don't know. It's the one where it's the circle with 270
Okay. I'm
and
gonna
then
pull
the
it up.
9 inches thing. I just do not understand what it's asking.
Okay.
Let's find the
Let me
missing.
pull it up.
It wants the length of like the sector that's in bold.
It wants the bolded section.
The bolded one's the missing one.
Yeah. So it wants that you see that the outside is darkened. So you're gonna use
Mm-hmm.
70 and then the 9.
All right.
Everybody doing okay? Yes. Okay. Said, I'm here if you have any questions.
I have a question for the one that's talking about the pie cut into like 8 equal slices.
Okay. So for that one, okay, so it's saying a pie with diameter of 6 inches was cut into 8 equal slices. How long is the one side? So what it wants to know the arc length of just one of those pieces. So what I would do is I would just find the circumference, and that'll tell you the distance around. And then you can, because then you're going to use equal slices, you can divide that circumference by 8, and you can get how long just that one piece is.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeet. That was not good. That was good. Yeah.
Miss Richard,
Yeah.
when we're done, are we allowed to leave?
Yeah. Once you're done, you're ready to. You can go make your homework and then start working on 11.3. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Witchard,
Yes.
I'm confused about the one where it talks about the light.
So for that one, hold up so I can. Okay, so for the light, a light is 8 kilometers. All right, so that's actually going to be your radius
Okay.
and spans 35 degrees. So then that's the measure you're going to use. And it's asking for area of the sector.
Okay.
So you're going to use the area of a sector. You're going to type in 8 for R and 35 for the measure.
Okay.
And number 12 is asking for arc area.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Richard,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm confused on the one about the clock.
Okay, so for that one, the clock pendulum is 22 centimeters. So that's what you're going to use for your radius.
Okay.
And it swings at 32 degrees. That's what you're going to use for the measure of the arc.
Okay.
What it's asking for is arc length.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Cheater.
Miss Witchard,
Yes.
what was the clock pendulum asking for again?
The clock pendulum is asking for arc length.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing. Nothing.
What did you say we do when we're done?
If you're done and you're all good to go, just make sure you send me your homework for 11.2 and then get ready for 11.3 on Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Who's left?
We got Jackson, Etta, and Ronan.
Hi, Ronan.
I don't understand the beam angle question. I think it's number 11.
Yeah, so with that one, Nick, let me pull up the exact verbiage of it. So for the light one, it says it reaches a distance of 8 kilometers. So that's going to be your radius. Okay.
So so that's my radius.
And
Okay.
spans 35 degrees. That's gonna actually what you're going to measure of the arc. It's asking for how much area does the light cover. I'm going to use the area of a sector.
Am I doing the area of the whole thing or like just a section
Just
of the
that section.
35?
Area
So
of
am
a
I doing-
sector area of a sector formula is equal to the arc, which here it's 35 divided by 360 times that pi.
Okay. Hold on.
You're going to use the area of a sector formula.
All right, I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye, Jackson.
Nanor. Ronan.
What do we got left here? We got
Ronan
Nick
and Nick.
and Ronan. I'm trying to schedule my advisory Zoom meeting. We're having an 80s and 90s theme meeting tomorrow.
Oh, I love this week. I'm so glad this is what it is now. Monday is A, B, C, D. Tuesday, E, F, G, and then advisory. Wednesday's off because it's office hours.
I kind of liked having Friday, but I don't know, we'll see.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Ronan, do you want to smash later?
Maybe.
Okay, I'll call you. And he's gone. Nick, you almost never mind.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I clapped for you.
Hey.
Good job,
It was
Nick.
very slow, but I got.
And
most
Nick,
of
don't
it right.
forget to send me your homework, okay?
Okay, we'll do.
Okay.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
wait.
Thursday.
Thursday? Oh, yeah, Thursday. Have a nice day.
I wish it was tomorrow.
Yep. See you Thursday.
Bye. All right.
Would like to point out
Stop
Wait,
recording.
wait, stop recording.